been doing a lot of reflection nowadays, only because I want to kind of get into the new year with a new frame of mind. I really want to launch my life, really, at the end of the day. I think this year we all probably felt very different than we thought we would have. And you know what? This year's almost over, but it doesn't mean that struggles and challenges will stop, right? We can all hope that obviously this virus will finally be a history moment or a historic moment, but we can't guarantee that something very similar won't come, in our lifetime. My question to you, though, is what have you been doing to maintain, positivity in your life? My title today was Choosing Happiness. And I realize that some of you guys might be rolling your eyes and thinking easier said than done. And I realize that, but it is actually easier than you think. It really is about kind of seeing the brighter side of everything that happens for us and not to us. I've heard that many times, by the famous Ed Mylett. For those of you guys who don't know Ed Mylett, I encourage you to listen to him. He's such an amazing man. And he does a lot of interviews with people in the space of personal development and how actually we can even attribute it to something very basic in our brain. But when you think about what we think about, and I mean that's a funny sentence, do you think about what you think about, right? Or do you react? Do you react and just kind of think, well, this is what the world is giving me and I'm just going to have to react? Or do you think about what is it that you're thinking about? And there was a podcast he had with, and you'll have to forgive me, but it's Tuesday, December 1st. And if you look up his podcast that was released, they were talking about how, what things happen to us and how it creates scenarios in our head. And it's just so amazing. I can't even recreate what I heard this morning. But I would encourage you to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it again. But from it, I really took away the fact that, what we think about is something we can control, right? And I wrote in my book today, I was going to talk about choosing happiness. And it's kind of funny, I'm talking about this podcast that I listened to this morning. But how many of you guys chose not to be happy in a situation that maybe most would find sadness or anger, right? How many of us would find the silver lining in any situation, right? And you know what? I can probably say that I've been blessed in a sense not to have endured anything so traumatic that it may be easier for me to say, right? But I think if you even just counted the small challenges on a daily basis and looked at each of those small challenges and looked at, what am I thinking about this challenge and how am I going to choose to feel versus just reacting, right? Because if you think about it, if we choose happiness, our feelings control our thoughts control our actions, and then of course our actions have consequences. And then it goes around and around, right? If we have consequences that were not favorable, it just creates even more negative thoughts or feelings. And then that creates negative thoughts, actions that are not necessarily favorable. And then, of course, results that are not so favorable. So I would encourage you to take a look at your 2020 and look at all the different things that had happened for you, not to you. Because if it's for you, then you've taken something away from it, something good. And look at your life that way going forward so that in 2021, 2022, any of the years that follow us, right, something else that comes up, whether it's Corona or another thing, right, we can get through it, right, and help each other. I think I've spoken enough today. I'll talk to you guys later. I got you all. Bye-bye.